Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight is Monday Night Raw. I do want to apologize for starting way so late. I'm having computer issues to where we're going to soon be building me a brand new desktop computer, so I just got to deal with the issues that this computer is giving me right now, and for some reason, when I went to go live, now 20-30 minutes ago, the computer just was not recognizing my graphics card, and I had to restart the computer twice before it would technically, like, it was showing that it was there, but it wasn't actually recognizing it as usable, I guess you would say. So I had to restart the computer twice, and now we're live, we're good, everything. Like OBS wasn't recognizing it. It was saying I can only use hardware graphics and stuff, and I'm like, nope, need that GPU. So we had to do some stuff there, or I had to do some stuff there to get it to work properly. So that's why we're starting a little late here, but better late than never, as we got a pretty good episode of Monday Night Raw to talk about. A very interesting episode of Monday Night Raw. I want to say off the bat, Triple H's landscape did not change. If Triple H thinks that making us think that Logan Paul could be joining the Vision group is the landscape changing, that ain't it. When I read the landscape changes tonight on Raw, I wholeheartedly thought CM Punk was joining the Vision. Then when they did the whole thing where they set up CM Punk and Jey Uso versus the Vision, I'm like, oh, okay, yep. Punk is going to turn on Jey. He's going to join the Vision. That's the landscape changing. Like, you think the landscape changing, like when you read that, the landscape changes tonight on Raw, you think something huge is going to happen. Something big is going to happen. Something that could change everything, I guess you would say. And that's CM Punk going heel, at least in my opinion. And that's not what we got. That's not what we got at all. We just got Logan Paul possibly joining Paul Heyman's group. And it's like, meh. Logan Paul as the replacement for Seth Rollins? No, it should have been CM Punk. It should have. It really should have. So we'll get into all of it. I mean, they wanted you to think that Logan Paul could go babyface at the beginning of the show, and no one believed that. No one believed that at all. Palpatine says, are you going to have two PCs now? I mean, no. I mean, technically, yes, because I have a laptop that works just as well as my PC. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the PC I have, stripping it, and rebuilding it with all brand new pieces. So, like, could I just build a second computer? Sure. But I'm, to save money, still keeping some of the components in my current desktop to save me $300-400. Because, I mean, I could spend an extra. Because I'll tell you guys right now. What I parted out this weekend, I priced out, going to be about $2,000 to build a new PC. And if I want to spend up to $25, then I could just don't need anything I already have. But if I want to save about $400-500, like I said, maybe $3-ish, then I keep some of the parts I already have, like the hard drives, all the fans. Don't need to buy any new ones of those because those all work fine. It's the CPU is old. The CPU is from like 2016, 17. And I'm keeping the same graphics card. Might upgrade the graphics card. Not sure. So, yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Not sure exactly the route we're going to go fully, but I did price some stuff out and kind of get a parts list together. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, that way you know we post new videos, when we post to the community tab, and when we We post new videos, when we post to the community tab, and when we go live. Also, remember, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get access to our news. You get access to our, well, not news. You get access to our, you get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis, and all of our graphics packages. The reason we haven't been uploading any of the graphics packages and graphics tutorials, which I should give you guys the graphics packages. I should still be doing that. But because of the computer issues I'm having, I'm not able to do like After Effects and record with OBS at the same time because it's taking up too much resources and it jitters and glitches and crashes. So that's why there haven't been any graphics tutorials recently, for a while actually, because this computer is just not wanting to do it, not wanting to record it, not wanting to run the multiple programs needed at the same time anymore for some reason. And I don't know why. It just all of a sudden just stopped doing it. But once I get the new computer, we'll be rocking and rolling and bringing you tutorials again once more. But I think starting this week for members and Patreon subscribers, I'll start dropping our graphics packages. So you guys will have those if you are subscribed as well. And also remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're playing that new season of Fortnite in Springfield. I've played a couple matches. It's awesome. That's another thing. This new computer won't play friggin' Fortnite, or my current computer won't play Fortnite. And that's a game that should be able to play on just about any computer. So yeah, really need to do this upgrade sometime soon. Anyways, maybe you want to go over there and get the battle pass. Maybe you want Bart. Maybe you want Lisa, Mo, Krusty. Who's the other one in the Scratchy? I'm trying to think of the ones in the store, not in the battle pass. Use our code PW Unlimited. Again, use code PWU NLIMITED on Fortnite if you're getting the Simpsons stuff on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, your phone, your tablet, your computer, anything that plays Fortnite. Doesn't have to just be through the Epic Game Store. As far as Monday Night Raw does go, we're in New Mexico. I think they said this is the first time that a Monday Night Raw has been live from New Mexico. And CM Punk opens up the show. They recap CM Punk beating Jet Uso to become the world champion. They then show live reactions from content creators doing watch-alongs. And I've actually talked to a couple content creators about this. None that were actually featured on WWE, but I wanted to know if anybody had the same thought and feeling I did. WWE gets upset when you use their content on your videos. We can't even make a news video and run a 3-4 second clip, or it gets hit and demonetized and all kinds of not allowed. But WWE can go grab clips and stuff of content creators reacting to their content and put it on their show. And I do know, because I did speak to one of the content creators that has been featured in the past. WWE doesn't even ask permission. WWE just takes it. WWE literally just finds your stream, takes your live reaction to Punk winning the world title or something from whatever show, like we've done it with Mania and all kinds of other things. Anyways, they don't even ask. They just do it and put it on Raw or SmackDown. So it's like they're saying you can't use our content, even a 2-3 second clip. But we can go and just take yours and use it on our show. And they're not asking permission. They're not saying, hey, is it cool if we use you? They just think, oh, these content creators, they'll mark out for it if we use their clip. Sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. How can I say if they use one of mine, which I don't do live watch-alongs in that way, but say like Santi or Minerva or who's the other one they use a lot? Oh, I can't remember the other guy's name. But what if one of them go, hey, how do I copyright claim on this? How do I say that's my clip? How do I say that's me and I didn't give permission? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anywho. Punk enters the building. We see him walk through Gorilla, go to the ring. And cool sweater. I don't wear sweaters that often, but he's wearing a cool one. It's got like the stars down the side. It says Punk with like the cutout letters of the square. And then it also says CM Punk along the back. Really cool sweater. And Punk started with, quote, "It's great to be champ on a Monday night in the great state of New Mexico." Or is it great? Is it great to be champ on a Monday night in the great state of New Mexico or what? Punk felt really good about being the world champion, and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." The first person he wanted to thank, well, was a smart, funny, intelligent, tough, and always there for him, wife AJ Lee. She stuck with him through the bad times, the good times. They stand together, chests puffed out, in all their glory. Second, he wanted to thank the fans. He said, without the WWE fan base, the WWE universe, there's no way he'd be here as the world champion right now. He doesn't get here without them. They chanted for Punk. He said the third person he wants to thank, well, is Jey Uso for putting up a hard fight and giving him a great main event. He wanted to remain friends with Jey, and he wouldn't cry about it. He said when he returned, he said that he didn't come back to make friends. He came back to make money and become a champion, and he's done both. Punk didn't know how much time he really had left, and SummerSlam taught him that you can't really take anything for granted and that things can come and go really quickly. You gotta hold on tight to what you have. Good news was that there was no snake in the grass slithering around in the back. He's just like the Seth Rollins little walk deal. He's all, with a Money in the Bank briefcase, who could take this from me this time. Punk then paused his promo, and he mocked Seth Rollins. He grabbed the belt and he swung it around his head. He goes, "That one's for you, Seth Rollins." Punk then warned Rollins that he would put him back on the shelf as soon as he comes back if he tries to come back for his belt. Punk then knew being crowned the champion means there's a target on his back, a locker room full of talent, badass talent, that's coming after him. He has to be the best in the world to keep this title. He knew there were guys like Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed wanting to come for his gold. Punk wanted to be a fighting champion. He wants to give many people opportunities to punch him in the face, Vision included. He wants to test himself against some of the best in the business, like AJ Styles. Unlike Styles, Dominic Mysterio doesn't deserve a shot at the belt, though. He said, one person's got 2 belts, they don't deserve a shot at my belt. Well, that's Dirty Dom. But Punk said if he tries to come at him, he'll still punch him in the face. He then put over JD McDonough. Called him an excellent pro wrestler. Those are his words, which is true. He also put over Finn Balor and said he'd love to have a banger with Sheamus. He also said, there's not much time left, but if John Cena wants to try and become an 18-time world champion, the champ is here. Basically saying, hey, Cena, you need one more opponent. How about me? Which we'll get into the final opponent here soon. And so Punk seemingly finishes his promo when Logan Paul's music hits. He interrupts Punk, and Punk's just like, "Oh no, what are you doing here? No. Anybody but you. Anybody but you. Go to you know what? SmackDown. SmackDown's a good place. You like the color blue? Go to SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov, he's doing an open challenge every week for the US title. That's more your level, your style. Go challenge Dragunov." And Paul said that I'm a Ferrari and you're nothing more than a Honda Civic with 250,000 miles on it. And I laughed so hard because that's like the perfect analogy. Logan's like the young in his prime, still got a lot of gas left. And Punk's the, oh man, I'm the beater on my last leg. I loved the analogy. I loved it. Paul says he's already faced the best and beat the best at AJ Styles at WrestleMania. But then we hear, ladies and gentlemen, and out comes Paul Heyman with the Vision. Heyman called Logan Paul. He said something about, I see a bitch in the ring. That owner. I'm talking about you, Paul. I laughed so hard. He then said, Logan Paul doesn't deserve to be at the front of the line. Logan Paul doesn't even deserve to be at the back of the line. Logan Paul deserves to be at the back of the line to get in the line. This line, the front of the line, belongs to the tribal thief, Bronson Reed. It belongs to the future of WrestleMania, Braun Breaker. Heyman warned the men in the ring that these two will come after them. They didn't budge. And Logan goes, or Punk goes, Logan, I don't know about you, but yeah, you're either in here with me or you're going to fight these guys. You're either going to fight these guys with me or you're going to leave. And Paul goes, yeah, I'm good. And he throws the mic over to Punk and tries to get out of the ring. And he gets right in Braun Breaker's face. Also, Braun Breaker cut a promo that was kind of meh. I didn't even write the words down because it was just meh. Braun Breaker is great and is going to just continue to get better. But the one thing he needs to work on are his promos. They're not horrible, but you can tell that he's reciting his lines. And they're not coming off as someone that's just speaking. It's someone that's reciting lines for the most part. Anyways. So Logan gets out of the ring. He gets right in Braun Breaker's face. And Braun's like, you trying to leave? You trying to go that way? No. And he shoves Logan Paul. Logan falls down on his ass. And he smacks the back of his head really hard onto the LED board on the side of the ring. And then Logan, kudos to him if it was, selling it really well. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I think Logan just hurt himself. Like, Logan hit his head hard. Like, you heard the thud. And Logan's like wincing in pain and like he gets up. But then the more and more he's like, I'm like, okay, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to. And then he jumps back into the ring eventually as Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are beating up Punk. But ain't enough. It ain't enough. They take down Logan Paul. They hit him with a tsunami. And away we go. The Vision stand tall. The Bronze stand tall. And this was like the first 30 minutes of the show. The first 30 freaking minutes of the show. Also, a question for you guys, chat. Maybe you guys can answer me this. Are more international versions of Netflix getting commercials? I watched through Canada. Like, I got the VPN up, Urban VPN, put Canada. And during matches, I didn't get commercials. But during entrances, I did get commercials. Is that a new thing? Because usually I use either Australia or Canada. And I've never had these commercials from Canada. So I wonder if you guys have noticed it. If you've watched, through international Netflix with Canada on your VPN. There's one other I use sometimes too, and I can't remember what it is now. Switzerland? Sweden? I don't know. Starts with the S, I think. Anyways. Yeah, I noticed that. And it was more only towards the later part of the show, like the last hour and a half-ish, like the second half of the show. There were commercials during the entrances. But we didn't get commercials during the matches. That was the thing. There was no commercials during the matches while watching international Netflix through Canada. But the first match we did get, again, like I said, 30 minutes into this show, was Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella against Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez of the Judgment Day. So Judgment Day got heat early on Bella. Perez crunched Bella with a springboard moonsault. Bella fought off Rodriguez moments later and hit a tornado DDT before making the tag to Stephanie. Stephanie then ran wild on Rodriguez, but couldn't quite hit the SVB because Rodriguez was what? Just a little too big. He couldn't hit a flying crossbody instead and got a 2 off of it. Kira gave Perez the devil's kiss to the delight of the crowd. Bella, I don't know why I said Belair. Bella tagged in and hit Perez with a Rack Attack 2.0, but Raquel broke up the pin barely. Also, we're going to talk about barely kicking out and breaking up pins later with goddamn Kairi Sane, who almost didn't kick out on time twice. Figure sent Rodriguez over the top, tried to do a devil's kiss on the apron. Rodriguez blocked it, slammed her face first on the apron. Towards the end of the match here, Bella tried to cradle, but Perez shoved her into the ropes. Rodriguez then gave her a cheap shot, with the referee's back turned, of course. And Perez followed this up with the Pop Rocks to pick up the victory. So, interesting that Raquel gets the win. No, Roxanne gets the win, gets the big pin. But then we learn later, Raquel's getting the title shot next week. Why? Why is Raquel getting the title shot when Roxanne's the one that got the actual pin in this 13-minute match? I don't know. Whatever. It's a nitpick, of course, but Stephanie ain't losing that belt. So then they re-aired the video of John Cena explaining the Last Time Is Now tournament, which we do now know the first 2 matches in said tournament. Jey Uso then approached CM Punk, basically said, hey, thanks for giving it your all and giving me a great match, like you said earlier. And Punk goes, well, first off, I want to know who am I speaking to? Speaking to Jey Uso, or am I speaking to Little Roman? And Jey got a little bit, I guess you could say, offended by that comment. And Jey said that you're talking to main event Jey Uso. And if you need my help, I'm here for you. I got you. You need me with the vision. And Punk goes, yeah, let me go put my gear on. Let's do it. So at this point, you're supposed to think, is Jey going to turn on Punk? Is Punk going to turn on Jey? We're not thinking we're going to see Logan Paul again. We thought him taking here's the thing that I didn't think of in the moment. Paul only took one tsunami. Usually when they take someone out, it's multiple tsunamis. So that's the thing that I didn't think of. So we had Penta versus El Grande Americano. A fun match. Good match. I liked it. Penta went for a Canadian Destroyer early on the apron, but El Grande blocked it with a drop kick off the apron. El Grande then tied Penta's mask to the bottom rope during a commercial break. Penta made the comeback as soon as they returned from the break, but El Grande Americano cut him off with a Finley roll. Penta then came back with some kicks, a tornado DDT, and a big flip dive. Crowd chanted holy shit for it. Bravo then tried to interfere, so the referee tossed him from ringside as he argued with Bravo and Rayo and gave El Grande Americano the metal plate. He put it in his mask. Penta then avoided the loaded mask. Rayo then tried to interfere, and the referee tossed him as well. Coming down towards the end of the match, Penta decided to give Rayo a dive before he could leave. El Grande went for the running headbutt, but Penta super kicked him instead. Hit him with the Canadian Destroyer and pinned him 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, Rayo and Bravo tried to attack Penta, but he escaped. I thought this was a good, solid 10 and a half minute match. Then there was a pre-tape interview with the Kabuki Warriors. They issued a warning to Bayley and Lyra ahead of their match later tonight. Asuka said her kindness would not last forever. And I'm like, what kindness? You ain't got no kindness. We had a Rusev interview during the break. Like I said, early on during like non-matches, we had some of these, non-commercial things. But then the second half of the show started getting breaks, which is weird. Commercials. Rusev, like I said, had an interview during the break. He complained about losing to Dom and Penta before stating that he wanted to win the tournament to face John Cena. Now, here's the thing with that tournament. I was listening to Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V on the Brian and Vinny show last night for F4W Online, and Vinny got something wrong here. Vinny said that he had heard, through listening to John Cena's, promo announcing the tournament, he thought Cena said, tournament will be guys I've never faced before. That's not what it is. Vinny heard it wrong. It is, the tournament will be filled, as we know now, will be filled with people he's had feuds with and people he's never faced before. So it's not just all new opponents for John Cena. It's anybody can be in this tournament. Then we had a Dominic Mysterio segment, which saw the return of Daddy Ray, which, oh my God, Dom had the greatest line here about Eddie. Oh, man. Dom called himself the King of the Luchadors. He proved that he was the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the greatest AAA Mega Champion of all time. His win, his father, Rey Mysterio, would interrupt to a huge holy shit chant from the crowd. Nobody expected it. Like right as the show was going on the air, Russell Vogt sent out a tweet, was like, hearing Ray's there. And so, yeah, looks like Ray is cleared. He got physical here, and the announcers discussed rumors that Ray had been cleared. Ray said Dom crossed the line when he called himself the King of the Luchadors. Some of the fans started chanting for Dirty Dom, though. Ray mentioned the all-time greats like El Santo and Blue Demon and Eddie Guerrero, where then Dom goes, hey, quote, keep my father's name out of your mouth. This got a huge pop from the crowd and me. I lost it in my seat. Like, I popped big for that. You keep my father's name out of your mouth. Because in storyline, technically, Eddie in storyline is Dom's biological father. Like, there's no way around that. In storyline, Eddie Guerrero is Dom's biological father, because remember, if you go all the way back to 2005, Ray fought for custody of Dominic and never disputed that Angie cheated on him with Eddie and had Eddie's baby. It was that I raised this boy from the moment he was born, so he's, my son no matter what. And it's like, in storyline, I know I keep saying that because that's how you got to look at it. In storyline, Eddie is Dom's dad. And it's just so crazy that with the mustache and the mullet, how much he looks like Eddie. He's not got any Eddie DNA. But it's just, everything's aligning perfectly to go all the way back 2 decades for this storyline to still make sense and be relevant in 2025. It's great. I'm a huge, if you can't tell, Dominic Mysterio fan. Huge. And if you guys haven't seen it, go watch the ladder match for custody of Dom back in SummerSlam 05. I want to say that was a great match. Dom got involved. He jumped in the ring and shook the ladder. Anyways, Dom said he was better than all of the men that Ray mentioned, even Eddie. Dom said he's also better than Ray. Ray said that Dom could disrespect him all he wanted, but he wasn't going to let him disrespect Lucha Libre. The crowd started chanting, "Whoop his ass." Dom said that he made the Mysterio name relevant. Dom has already surpassed everything Ray has done and threatened to kick his ass until he gets out of the ring. Ray then agreed to leave, but he wanted Dom to understand 3 things. 1, as long as Ray's around, Dom would never be the king of the luchadors. 2, this would never be Dom's ring. And 3, Dom would never be the greatest Mysterio. Dom then tried to go for a cheap shot on Ray, but Ray saw it coming, took Dom down, hit him with a 619, and then a splash off the top rope. But he went for the splash, actually didn't get it because Dom bailed. I thought it was a great segment. Crowd was super into it. They love Dom. They love Ray. The Mysterios are fucking over as hell. Both of them. Bailey was with Lyra in the back. We weren't exactly on the same page, but Bailey convinced Lyra that everything was going to be good between the two of them. They did their little special handshake, but Akira didn't really know what to make of all of it. Then we go to the announcers, and they're talking and just saying stuff before we start hearing yelling, and Becky just jumps up on the announce table and just starts just going off. Becky appears. She said that she's been going through a lot recently. Her hot husband was laid up at home. The Vision ruined everything. A crooked referee seems hell-bent on destroying what she's got and taking her title. And Pierce sent her home to cool down, even though, she was the definition of cool. Lynch told the crowd the only thing cool to come out of New Mexico was a TV show about how much meth they did. Maxine Dupree wasn't cool either. Dupree was lucky to have survived a match against her, but now she wouldn't shut up about it because it is the idiot fans that made her feel like she actually belonged here when she doesn't. Ben starts chanting, we're not idiots. We're not idiots. Lynch then called herself the greatest of all time. She said a match against her was not a test for Dupree. Dupree would make one wrong move in their next match, and it would be her last. Lynch then marched to the back. She came face-to-face with Asuka. And then she entered with Sane for their match. Now, here's what I think is going to happen. Remember last week when Pierce was like, hey, whenever you're ready, you're going to get another shot at Becky to Maxine. And Maxine said, well, I'm going to need to go train, and I think I have somebody that's going to help me. And everyone's like, Natalya. I think you're half right. I don't think it's going to be Natalya. I think it's going to be her indie persona, her badass side, Natty. Natty is going to show up, and she's going to whoop Maxine into shape. I think that's where this is leading to. Not Natalia, but Natty. It's two different personalities if you haven't seen before. Speaking of tag team action, and Asuka, we had Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. So Asuka and Sane had heat on Valkyria early on until she gave Sane a gut wrench powerbomb. Bayley tagged in and ran wild on Asuka, and Bayley was running a mile a minute. She was like, just running crazy wild. Bayley hit an elbow to the back of the neck. Went for the pin, only got a 2. Sane then cut Bayley off after making a blind tag, but Bayley responded with the Bayley to belly that really didn't get much of, and got a 2 off of it. Bayley then gave Sane a sunset flip powerbomb into the turnbuckle, and Valkyria followed this up with a diving leg drop for a near fall. Sane barely kicked out. I think she kicked out after the fact because the ref had to pull back 1, 2, 3, and yeah, Kairi was late there. There was another one she was late on as well. This is not the first time we've seen Kairi late on these kickouts. She's done it multiple times in the past here recently as well. Sane then gave Valkyria a double foot stomp. Bayley broke up the pin. Valkyria and Bayley then hit Sane with a backbreaker elbow combo. Asuka broke up the cover there. Bayley broke up a double team attempt by Asuka and Sane. So Asuka shoved Valkyria into Bayley, knocking her off the apron. Valkyria tried to move off the apron, but Asuka caught her with the Asuka lock, and Valkyria tapped out. So there we go. Kabuki Warriors get the win. Then they go on the attack. They attack Valkyria. Bayley kind of tries to make the save. Tag champs come down, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. They come out to Bliss's music, and, well, they run off the Kabuki Warriors. They then pose in the ring as Bayley is checking on Lyra. This is actually setting up next week on Raw, tag title match. Asuka and Sane challenging Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Alexa, stop. I hate when that happens. So, President Rodriguez are all happy as they get to the clubhouse. And they tell Finn, hey, Raquel's got a shot at the title next week. She's going to face Stephanie. And they're all happy for her. And they're like, yeah, we're going to win our titles back tonight, too. Dom shows up and goes, where were you guys? Why didn't you come and help me with Ray? And Finn just looks at him and goes, you went out there and had a celebration for yourself and didn't even invite us. So don't even get started. He's like, plus we got better things, more important things to worry about, like winning our titles back. So they leave. Dom then sits down on the couch with Roxanne, and Roxanne's like, you're the double champ. You know what you need to do? You need to go help those guys get their titles back. And he's like, really? Do you think they want me out there? She's like, of course they will. Of course they're going to want your help. And Raquel's like, it's your fault anyways. Yeah, go. And then her and Raquel and Roxanne start talking about when she wins the world title, where they're going to put it in the clubhouse. Then we had the world title match. And this is the first time of the night I noticed commercials on the international feed. So they do AJ's entrance with AJ and Dragon Lee. And then it cuts to commercial. And we never see the entrance of the Judgment Day. It just cuts back after the commercial break with the match starting. And I'm like, why are we getting commercials on international Netflix? That's why I use the VPN with international Netflix, to not get commercials. Judgment Day got the heat early on right away by attacking the Chancellor for the Bellevin ring. Dragon Lee gave Balor a sit-out powerbomb and tagged in AJ, who laid out both guys with some slingshot moves. There's a double down spot that led to Dom sauntering out during the break. Now, again, we didn't get any commercials during the match itself, so we saw all the during break match stuff. Dom came out with a shillelagh. Finn gave him this earlier and said, keep this safe. Like, they stole Sheamus' shillelagh. So when Dom came out with the shillelagh, I'm like, oh, it's only a matter of time before Sheamus comes out. Styles gave McDonough a Pele kick as they returned from the break. Dragon Lee tagged in and went on the offense until Balor cut him off with a sling blade and a running drop kick. At one point, Balor told Dom to hit Styles with the IC title. He's like, hey, AJ's down on the ropes. He was like in like a 619 position kind of. He's like, go get him. Go knock him out for me. And as Dom goes to hit him, the ref sees it and goes, stop. And he stops Dom from hitting AJ with the IC title. When Sheamus would then come out and waffle Dom. Attack Dom, take down Dom. Ref was distracted here. So that led to Balor grabbing the shillelagh and hitting AJ with it. McDonough then crawled in for the cover, but Dragon Lee broke up the pin, jumping over the referee. Dragon Lee then wiped out Balor with a dive. Styles gave McDonough a Styles clash and pinned him to retain the title in a 10.5-minute match. Really fun match. I felt like the first match that they had where AJ and Dragon Lee won the belts was better, but this was still a really, really good, fun match. Then we got a weird segment with Nikki Bella where it felt like to me, maybe she was saying she's going away for a little while. Bella apologized to Stephanie Vickier for the loss. And as a result, Vickier having to defend her title next week against Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel told her, hey, don't worry about it. You're Nikki Bella. You don't have to apologize to me. Bella was then doubting herself and her abilities because she wasn't sure that she could hang with the women of today anymore. Vickier said, no, you can. You're great. You're one of the greatest. You paved the way for me and all the other women in this division. And Nikki's like, thank you for that. That means a lot. Good luck next week. And I'm just like, what the fuck was this segment? And Nikki was still in her gear. Stephanie went showered and changed and everything. She was in her street clothes ready to leave the building. But yeah, it was a very interesting segment. It almost felt like Nikki saying I'm going away for a while, but then Stephanie kind of reassuring her, no, you're still Nikki freaking Bella. You're good to go. So I don't know what this was really trying to accomplish, to be honest. Jey Uso was warming up with the stretch bands, and all of a sudden, boom, there's Paul. Heyman's just there. And I'm like, whoa, where'd Heyman come from? Heyman wondered why Jey would want to team with CM Punk, who prevented him from becoming the world champion. He appreciated that Punk faced him man-to-man. No tricks, didn't cheat, didn't do nothing, just straight-up match. Which, when you look at that Saturday night's main event, it was a no-frills, no angle, no gimmicks show. It was just 4 title matches. I mean, technically, there was gimmicks and shenanigans in the triple threat IC title match, but like no angles. They didn't set up anything for the future. No one came out and interrupted anything. It was just a show with 4 matches. It was just a straight, I get it done in 2 hours. We missed it by a couple minutes, and there we go. Anyways, Heyman was about to mention Roman Reigns, and Jey stopped him and said he doesn't care about Roman. He doesn't care about Jimmy. He doesn't care about anybody else but himself, which sounds like something Roman would say. Heyman then warned him that the leash was off with Braun and Bronson after, the last couple of weeks when he was asked to hold him back a little bit. He said the vision would go after anyone who didn't conform to what their vision was. However, it didn't apply to Jey, because Jey has a vision of his own. Heyman knows what it is and wished him luck. And that, again, they're wanting you to think that Jey could be turning heel, maybe turn on CM Punk tonight. So we finally got some stuff for the John Cena the Last Time Is Now tournament. Also, shout out Luke in the chat. I haven't talked to Luke in a while. Luke's been very busy with school, I assume. So Adam Pearce, this is weird. I want to talk about this for a second. This is kind of weird. So when John Cena made the announcement of the tournament and everything, he said everything is random. But then they have the tumbler with the names and the balls. How is that random in that sense when you got to put the names in the balls? So who is in the tournament, I don't think is as random as they want you. It's a whole thing. I'm thinking too far and too much into it in a goddamn scripted sport. Like someone got to put the names in the bin to get them pulled out. And so how is it random? The seeding and who faces who is random, yes. But I feel like who's in the tournament is not as random as they want you to think. Anyways, Adam Pearce says that he is pulling names for the first 2 matches. And on SmackDown, Nick Aldis will pull names for the next 2 matches going forward. And so what we did learn is that in the first round, Rusev will take on Damian Priest. And Shinsuke Nakamura will take on Sheamus. So that's what we know so far. Just those 2 matches. We don't have brackets. We don't even know if like the winner of these 2 matches face each other. We don't know any of that. All we know is Rusev versus Priest, Nakamura versus Sheamus, and that Nick Aldis will announce 2 more matches on SmackDown Friday, which will get us halfway through this tournament as far as announcements. Because if there's 16 men, you announce 4 matches, that's 8 men, that's half. So we'll see where this leads to. I assume then next week on Raw they announce 2 more matches, and then the following week they announce 2 more matches. When is this tournament? They still haven't told us when this tournament ends. So let me see something first. I'm trying to pull up a calendar really fast. The tournament starts next week, and you go through 2 and 2. That's 8. 2. I'm going to do something really fast. I'm going to make a bracket here. Let me draw this out, and then I'll show you guys what I'm doing. And give me 1 second. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, I did that wrong. God damn it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Winner of these matches face off. The winner of these matches face off. These, boom, boom, then you have boom, boom, which then leads us to our final. So it would be like next week you have the one side of the bracket, and then the week of the 17th you can do the other side of the bracket, and then that will leave you with 2 more matches on either side, so 4. This is essentially a 1, 2, 4 round tournament. Now, when is Survivor Series again? Because I feel like the finals should be at Survivor Series. The 29th, I want to say. Series 2025. Yeah, the 29th. And so could we get 1, 2, 3? You could get the finals at Survivor Series. Yeah, you could get the finals at Survivor Series, technically. If I'm doing the math properly. And y'all know, math ain't my forte. As far as those matches being announced, 2 more things were also announced for next week's Raw. 2 title matches, which we learned earlier in the night. Stephanie Vakira defending the Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez, and Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against the Kabuki Warriors. This then leads us to our main event, CM Punk and Jey Uso against The Vision. Not much really happens early on, and then we go to a break, and Punk hit a clothesline off the ropes. Breaker went down awkwardly. Breaker then likely missed his planned spot because Punk shook him a little bit. This is the 2nd week in a row. It looked like Braun Breaker took a bump that knocked him a little loopy. Because if you remember last week, he took that one bump from LA Knight where he was on the top rope and just poof, fell down hard. He let during the headlights for a second. 2nd week in a row, he looked like that. Punk said something to the ref and like it kind of got a little wonky for a moment, and then they just went back to what they were doing. Braun countered Punk's Irish whip. So Punk booted Braun. The ref then checked on Braun Breaker. Reed then decked Punk to get the heat as the referee was checking on Braun. And things seemed fine for the rest of the match. Braun's worked over Punk. His fans chanted for Jay. The Bronze gave Punk a shatter machine, but Jay broke up the pin. Jay then got the hot tag and hit Reed with some strikes, then Zaguri and a running hip attack before hitting a spear. Breaker broke up the pin. Punk then wiped out Breaker with a dive, and Jay hit Reed with a suicide dive. The 4 men then awkwardly brawled outside the ring as the referee just counted them all out. Double count out. This sucked. Like, really? 4-way double fucking count out? Are you kidding me? Baby faces were getting the better of the brawl until Breaker speared Jay. Reed then knocked down Punk. Breaker sent him over the barricade. Reed then held up Jay in the ring so Breaker could hit him with another spear, and Reed followed with Tsunami. Punk then chased the Bronze from the ring with a chair. The Bronze grabbed the chair and just said, nope, you ain't doing this. God damn it. Punk then tried to stand tall against the Bronze when Logan Paul would randomly appear Had brass knucks in hand, turned around and knocked out CM Punk. And then held back the bronze. Crowd's chanting, "Fuck you, Logan." And Logan Paul gave the knucks to Paul. It's like, where is this leading to? I assume this is leading to Logan Paul challenging CM Punk for the title. Maybe it's Survivor Series. I don't know. But we don't know if Logan Paul is now part of the Vision. He gave Paul the brass knucks. So I would assume maybe. Or maybe he's not an official member, but there's an association. He's associated with them. He will help them if they help him, kind of thing. I don't know. I'm confused as all get out. Look at the Twitch poll going. I forgot to down. What did you think of Rob? What do you guys think? You think Logan Paul is now a member of the Vision? You think Logan Paul is taking the Seth Rollins spot? I don't know. Also, yes, Corey, thank you. Cena will be on the show next week as well. All right, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can vote as we go and check the other polls. But yeah, a good episode of Raw with a crappy ending. Well, half crap ending. Because it was crappy that we got the double count out. And then I was confused by what the hell's going on with the Vision and Logan Paul. So that wasn't crap. I like when they give us a confusion at the end of a show, because then it's like, ooh, I need to come back next week and see what this means. But as far as the polls do go, let's get these refreshed. As far as the Threads poll does go, 40% liked the show, 40% thought it was just all right, and 20% didn't like it. As far as the X poll does go, 54% liked the show, 27% thought it was just all right, and 18% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll, 77% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 82% liked the show, 15% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live with our AEW Dynamite Watch Along /Spider-Man 2 playthrough on Wednesday. With that, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.